Hello, College of the Desert students. This is Wendy Ansley and Dan Keenan today. So this is a follow-up assignment to our coverage of the book this week on radical hope. And this is very inspirational, and I'm looking forward to sharing this with you. This is a testimonial of someone that is living with radical hope. So we came up with these questions. Dan was the one that introduced me to this book, and I knew that this would be a great book to share with you guys, because all of us in our life, 40% of people contract cancer, will know someone, a family member, or themselves may contract cancer. And this is a book where we can learn how we can survive, thrive, and live with radical hope. So we came up with some questions, and Dan is going to share his testimonial with you. Dan, tell us a little about your educational journey and your professional career path.
So, yeah, definitely. First of all, I just want to say thanks for being here, and I appreciate the opportunity to tell my story. I'm appreciative of the fact that I'm here and can tell a story.
Yes.
First of all, but yeah, my education is very interesting because I started my quest to become a physical therapist right here at COD. And I took my physics, my chemistry, my psychology classes, right here at COD, and I helped out Tyrone with the men's basketball team.
Okay.
So I was working part-time helping with the basketball team, which I love to do. So
Yes.
It was great. And then that catapulted me or got me into USC, where I got my master's degree in physical therapy. And then my last internship from USC, I did it here at Eisenhower Medical Center. And they liked me, and it was a perfect fit because we lived out here. So I started working outpatient orthopedic physical therapy, which I wanted to do, sports medicine, and that was a great time for me learning, because even the education at USC was great. Going from books to people is a big transition. And I had a great group of physical therapists. We had Dr. Reber and Dr. Lamb and Dr. Murphy, so some great orthopedic doctors that would help us and educate us. So that was a great time for me, especially my first job working as a physical therapist. But then as we started to have a family, and being at the clinic so many hours was difficult, so I transitioned into home health, which is, as a physical therapist, I would go to people's homes and treat them in their home post total knee, total hip, fracture of their hip, and open heart surgeries. And so I fell in love with that because it was flexible. I was making my own schedule, working around the kids' schedule, coaching basketball, coaching soccer. And so I've been doing that for Desert Home Health for the last 23 years. I graduated from USC in 1994, so I've been a physical therapist now for 31 years.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
We have a lot of health science majors, so that information you shared was really great. I like the going from books to people too.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
good.
And now COD has a PTA program,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Which I think is phenomenal.
Absolutely.
And actually, my friend John, who's a physical therapist, just as a side note, he just hired 2 PTAs from here, and he's very happy with them.
Oh,
He's
great.
very happy with how their competency level and their ability to get in and do stuff. So,
Well, that's great.
so that's great to know. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, the next question we have is, share with us your passion in movement, fitness, and competitions.
Oh boy, great question. And it's funny when I read these questions and I try to pinpoint like a time and it just doesn't appear. Like it was just always, like it was innate. It was always part of who I was.
Yes.
As far as I can remember back, just being an active child playing, chase or kick the can or flag football, And my dad was always great and always wanted to play catch with the football, baseball. But his number one thing he loved to do was hockey. So we were always, he would be shooting and I would be the goalie and he'd be shooting at me trying to score goals, But I was out, aside from being in school, I was outside playing sports, riding my bike, just doing stuff. And as I got older, we started playing actually team sports, football and basketball. Basketball was my sport that I loved the most. And the problem was all my friends were better than me. So they were, I was the younger. My birthday was the younger side, so they were a little old. At that time, you don't realize how much a year in development means with their size and strength and skill level. So I had to figure out a way to make it on the team. And I quickly found out, I'm like, me being in better shape than this guy that's more talented than me, I can wear him down. And I was never afraid to be, probably all the basketball teams I played in high school, college, there was a couple kids that maybe were in as good a shape as me, but there was never anyone in better shape than me. And so I quickly realized that every single coach always wants a kid that will just hustle his butt off, right? So there's always a place for you if you're willing to work. And I would play defense and rebound and do set picks. And if there was a loose ball on the floor, it was mine. It was mine. So that got me on teams. And as I was conditioning, it made me take a deeper dive and like, okay, so because I was never really like training, I was just always active, riding my bike, running, playing sports. And then I got deeper into like, okay, so if I actually put a vest on and run up this hill, it makes me faster. And so I've always been interested in the boundaries, in the limit, like pushing yourself to a limit that's really a lot of the limits that we put on ourselves are self-limiting, self-perceived ones that aren't real. Our mind puts us there and we get tired and say we have to stop. But if you look at, Jasmine Paris, David Goggins, Diane Nyad, every Navy SEAL, right? And the things that they do physically that are just, you think it's impossible, right? And when you ask them, it's not physical really, it's mental. It's mental. Mindset. And so that put me on a path to learning more and more about diet and exercise and training and physical therapy, which really is just an extension of who I am. Like it couldn't be a better profession for me, right? It's who I am. So that was always there. And in competition, like if you're going to play a sport, why not win? So that was, the will to win or the refusal to lose. I don't know which it is, but it's a little bit of both of those. And when someone team beats us, and that's part of the learning. Maybe you learn more from your failures and your losses than from victories and success. I know that I do. But that competition has just always been there. And I have, I'm mad at myself because I could have done this better or this better when I lose, but I go back and say, okay, so the great example I take is Kobe Bryant. After his rookie year, and they lost in the playoffs, and he had like 5 air balls from three-point land, and people were saying, what happened? How come so many air balls? And at first he was kind of like embarrassed, but then he said, it makes total sense. When he went back and reflected on it, right, is one of his biggest failures. And he's like, last year I was a high school basketball player and we played 30 games. Now I'm a pro and playing 82 games, and then now in the playoffs. And when I look at the film and I look at those shots, every single shot was on line, but it was short because my legs were tired. I didn't have the strength in my legs. He's like, okay, so he came up with a plan to get stronger legs. And he's like, okay, fixed. Next year that won't happen. I'll have my legs, right? And I look back at my, so now after college and competitive sports were team sports was kind of gone. I started doing triathlons and my love obstacle course racing. I just fell in love with that, and the great thing about it is there's different lengths, there's different obstacles, and at the end of every single race, you look back and say, I never feel like that was my best race. I always feel like I can do better at the monkey bars. I can do better at coming out of the mud in the cold water and shaking off my legs and warming them up again so I can run again. So that fuels me into this. And now with this diagnosis, I have I'm on chemo and a temporary diagnosis of cancer, right? So like, how much can I do on chemo? How much I lost 40 pounds and probably 35 of it of muscle. I went from 176 to 137. I have some of it back now. I'm at around 160, but still not all of it. And can the new Dan be faster? Because my body is different, right? And so that totally has me jazzed and fueled to make a rehab program for cancer patients and muscle wasting and how much of it can come back. And I don't know. Nobody knows. The doctors don't know. So it's actually kind of exciting for me to do, even my sister and my family members, why are you signing up for a Spartan race? You're on chemo. And I'm like, well, I need to for a couple reasons. Having something on the calendar is invigorating and fuels me because now I have to train and finish. And then what is the boundary? Why can't I do a Spartan race while I'm on chemo? And how fast can I do it? So that inspires me to dive deeper and learn more. And then I want to be able to come back and things like this and tell people that have the same diagnosis or any diagnosis, whether it's MS or rheumatoid arthritis or different cancers, there's so many of them, that part of the whole process is keep moving. Not necessarily doing Spartan races like I like to do, but whatever it is that you like to do, right? Keep moving, whether it's dance, fishing, whatever it is. Don't go back in your recliner and not move. Keep moving.
Yes.
And I'm a physical therapist, so that's going to be my bias always, right?
This has
Keep
been
moving.
part of the recipe for success. Keep moving. Question 3.
I'm ready.
Okay. Please share with us your original cancer diagnosis.
Yeah, so, wow. Now looking back on it, I can see that at the end of September of 2023, I started feeling a little off with my GI system. And just, I did a race in the middle of September in Vermont and placed well and felt good. And then early October, I did the World Championships in Mammoth, and I wasn't 100%. And there was some bloating, there was some intermittent GI problems that I was having, and we couldn't put our finger on it because it was just, I could still do everything. It wasn't preventing me from doing anything, but I just wasn't 100%. So, October, November, and we started thinking, there's maybe a food allergy. So we were going to try an elimination diet, but with Thanksgiving and Christmas, the holidays, we're like, after New Year's, we'll do an elimination diet and see what's happening. But so all this time, the tumor is growing inside my pancreas. I don't know it yet, right? But as it's doing that, it's pinching off my common bile duct, which provides all the digestive enzymes to your stomach. So I'm not digesting perfectly. I'm not getting all the value out of the food that I'm eating, no matter how good the food is. I'm not getting all the nutrients. So my energy levels started fading. And by January, it was really fading. I was coming home from work in the middle of the day and having to take a nap. And Amy's like, is this what 60 looks like? And we're like, can't be, right? So finally my wife talked me into getting a blood test, and I got a blood test, and my doctor was like, dude, you have to get to the ER and get a ultrasound because your lab numbers are crazy. And by that, late January, my skin started turning yellow, and the whites of my eyes started turning yellow. And by the time we got the labs back, that was pretty jaundiced. So we were thinking maybe my gallbladder was messed up, and I was going to need a emergency lap chole and take my gallbladder out. So I go to the hospital and I get an ultrasound, and I'm sitting in the holding room at Eisenhower, and my wife Amy comes in, and her eyes are bloodshot, like they look like she's just been, crying, bawling her eyes out. And I'm like, hon, it's okay. I'm already at peace with losing my gallbladder. I'm past that. I'm at peace with it. I'm actually moving on to the rehab part of it. And she's like, no, hon, your gallbladder is okay. You have a 30 millimeter tumor in your pancreas. And wow, right? That's a horse of a different color, right? That's a whole different ball game, right? And being in the healthcare industry, I know the statistics, although there's a whole thing on statistics that I'll tell you and tell everybody that don't believe them, because the statistics are of older patients. Like the statistics that they put in front of you now are old data, right? It's data from other patients, not me, and other treatments, right? There's so many new treatments coming. So I never really let the statistics get me down, but in that moment, shock, unbelievable disbelief, and thinking in how I was telling you before is that I was always like, I treat people that get cancer and have to rehab back. I don't get cancer. Like in reflecting on that, how arrogant that was, because cancer doesn't care. Cancer doesn't care if you're in shape, if you're not in shape, if you're heavy, if you're skinny, if you're purple, if you're green, if you're white, if you're black. It doesn't care, right? And so I was, we embraced, and we're crying, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit more in number 5, but a couple minutes of that, and then just this calm came over me. And whether it was my mom or my dad, who are angels in heaven, whether it was God or the universe, or just my positive attitude saying, okay, this is an obstacle to overcome, and we're going to do it. And so I saw this light at the end of the tunnel. I didn't know how to get there, but it was a calming presence that I could just say, Aim, this is gonna be okay. We're gonna get past this, and we're gonna tell people how to do it.
Okay, so Spartan Dan, he embraces obstacles. We're learning
Yes.
this. You are learning this. Thank you so much. Question number 4 is, how did this book, Radical Hope, 10 Key Healing Factors from Exceptional Survivors of Cancer and Other Diseases, inspire you?
Great question, right? And right off the top of my head, without even thinking, I'm just like, the stories, the personal stories in the book are just awe-inspiring. They're amazing. And there are a ton of good books to read, and that you should read once you or someone in your family. And so hoping that this touches a lot of people, right? Because in my 31 years of being a physical therapist and being a human, right? Like, you just see how almost everyone has a cancer story, whether it's themselves, a cousin, an uncle, a grandmother. Everybody, it touches almost everyone. And this book I recommend to everybody, as of all the books, this is the first one. This is the first one you read. And for me, the stories of all these different people with stage 4 terminal cancer diagnosis, people that should have not, if you look at the statistics, they should not be around, right? And that's what a radical remission is, right? You have a diagnosis that less than 25% chance of being around in 5-year survival rate. And all these people are 7, 12, 20 years post-diagnosis. And some of them, and they all took different paths, right? It's all an individual healing journey with different cancers and different diseases, multiple sclerosis, and all these things that are limiting, that these people are anomalies, or just outliers, right? They just break the norm. And so how do they did it? So Kelly interviews a lot of these people, thousands of them, and came up with 10 chapters. There's 10 chapters in this book because there's 10 things that all these people did, but they all did them differently, and they all did them at a different level. And so after reading the book, and my wife, Amy and I, we've read it now like 10, 12 times. And you get this in the shock and the anger and the fear and the disbelief, and all these things come into your head, and you're like, okay, you read this book and all these stories, and you're like, it's not why me, it's why not me? I'm willing to go to work. I'm willing to do all of these things that these people did and find my way, but why not me? And so you come away with not the exact step by step, but you feel better because now you have all these questions, but now you at least have like a roadmap. Yes. Like I think it provides like a roadmap and an action plan, and to move forward. And that's what it's done for us. And we still look back at it, but I'm doing, as soon as I read it, I invoked all 10 of those things. And some of them are like meditation for me is a challenge. And so my meditation practice in the last 2 years, is it better? Absolutely, is it better? Am I the Dalai Lama? No, yes. I'm far from it, right? But it helps me a ton.
You're integrating it.
It helps.
Right?
That's the perfect word, yes. Right? Like, and I think all cancer patients and caregivers for cancer, it has to be an integrated approach, like we talked about a little bit. To put all your eggs in one basket for cancer is such a complicated, challenging disease. Like, these cells want to survive, and they'll do anything to survive, and they're smart cells, right? So just throwing one chemo or one immunotherapy at it, just not enough. I think you have to come at it through an integrated, multifactorial approach, and that book, yes. That book provides the framework, right?
Framework. Leaving no stone left unturned. That's kind of been our theme today, right?
And when you said that, when you said that yoga, I'm like, yeah, we're trying to leave no stone
left unturned. Dan actually practiced yoga today at College of the Desert, and that was our theme, and it really ties into integrating these 10 steps as well. Okay, so each story is unique. Pancreatic cancer. Please share with us 3 key healing factors, action steps, and strategies that you have integrated in your Radical Hope journey.
This is actually the meat of the interview in the book, right? Like, at first you're so overwhelmed with the diagnosis of cancer, right? And this book gives you 10 things, right? And it's 10 too many. When I first became a physical therapist, and my first few patients, I would give them all these things to do, right? Because I was so gung-ho. I'm like, you got to do this, and lay it out, 10, 12 exercises for them to do as part of their home exercise program. And they would come back to see me a couple of days later, and I'm like, okay, how'd you do with, and they did nothing. And I found quickly that it was just too many things. It was too many. So I had to cut it down, and 3 seems to be the magic number, right? Like, give me 3 things, and I whittled it down to the most important 3, right? So I think over time you need to integrate all 10 because it's that important, but not all at once, right? You can do the 3 that resonate with you the most, right? And for me, I think number 1 is chapter. I think it's chapter. Let me get it exactly right here. Chapter chapter 2. No. Chapter spirituality. Yeah. Positive mental attitude. So the positive mental attitude, I think, is chapter 4.
Okay.
Increasing your positive emotions, right? But, again, there's so many emotions, right, that are running away with you. The fear, the disbelief, the shock, and anger, right?
Yes.
So many things. And you have to acknowledge that you're having those, but you can't let those control you, right? You have to hit the pause button, take a deep breath, and with yoga helps me a ton, and meditation, and just take a pause and say, okay, I have to get control of this and my emotions, and we have, through the book, we have an action plan, and we're starting to do it, and so you have to get your mind in the right space, right? No negativity. Anybody that was negative, I was turning them out of my hospital, out of my room, and just surrounding myself with positive people, helping me get my mind in the right place to take this battle or healing journey on, right? So that would be number 1 for me. And in that is, I think number 2 is just wrapped in there, right? Because spirituality, right? Like in spirituality and religion can be controversial or whatever, but for me, I believe in a higher power. I choose to call that power God, but others, my daughter calls it the universe, prana, chi, whatever it is for you, and that's okay. But I do know that there is a higher power and an interconnectedness that brings us all together. Yoga helps me connect with that. Meditation, my hikes on the bump and grind, I connect with Mother Earth, and that helps me as well. But yeah, you have to lean on that spirituality a lot, and I know I did and still do, and it helps me a ton because I, with every ounce of my being, believe that I'm 63 now, but all of my life experiences, all of my training have been training me for this moment, to overcome this obstacle, this temporary diagnosis, and that's what I totally believe it is. I'm not a cancer patient. I'm Dan. I'm a physical therapist. I'm a dad. I'm a husband, and yeah, I'm going through a temporary obstacle or health challenge, but it's not going to define me. It's not going to take my life. Yes. And I totally believe that. And so connecting, that spiritual connection, I lean on that, and it helps. And it helps to know in the Bible that, yeah, the big fella has a plan for this and for me. And I surrender to that and am on that path. It's not the path, if you ask me, I wanted to be on 2 years ago, but it's the path that he wants me to be on, and I see that now, and it gives me unbelievable, like having that in my background and knowing that allows me to endure the 22 rounds of chemotherapy, the 11 surgeries, the countless days of fever and nausea and constipation and all of that, right? Knowing that it's part of the work I have to do to get beyond it, right?
I'm glad you shared that too.
So that's number 2 for me, and then number 3, is my team. Chapter 10, increasing social support. So your support team, I call it my healing team. My wife calls it my prayer warriors. But my team is amazing. And it is my individual journey or your individual journey, but you can't do it alone, right? You need that support. And for me, so all the things that I've tried, right? 22 rounds of chemotherapy, 12 rounds of immunotherapy, 11 surgeries, countless doses of high-dose vitamin C, mistletoe from Germany, red light therapy, vibration therapy, PEMF therapy, acupuncture, Reiki, energy healers. I'm doing it all a little bit, right? Meditating. And I think it all has gotten me here, right? Which I'm 2 years out with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And I'm heading to Boston on Thursday to do the Fenway Spartan race. And I say that not to impress you, but to impress upon you that these things have helped get me here. But the number one thing in my quiver, my sharpest arrow, my strongest arrow, is my family and friends. And the prayers, and the meals, and the texts, and the cards, and the love and support that they've shown me. That energy is helping to heal me. And I feel it. I feel it. Right? They all, everything is helping me. It's definitely integrated, multifactorial. But if you were to say, what is the one thing that is helping me the most? It's that love and support from my family and team. And I can't show my appreciation or my gratitude for that is beyond words. Beyond words.
I think as we're listening to this too, and we know someone that is going through difficult setbacks and obstacles and chemotherapy and surgeries, it's important to know that we can provide love, support, and comfort when people need it, because we're part of that healing circle. We're like, we can be the mirror to those that are suffering.
And I'm a number one example to say that, it's so, I'm so blessed to have so much of that in my life, and it helps a ton. And every time people, I thank them, and it's like, don't stop. Please keep praying and doing those things because it's helping. So kind of like to put that in a nutshell and to have like a little review of those three things, right? Like definitely number one, the positive mental attitude. Chapter 4, increasing positive emotions. And so what are action steps, right? So I think journaling, writing down things and writing down your emotions and never leaving with a negative one, right? It's okay to acknowledge and have those negative ones, but always overcome it with a positive one, with writing down something from the future, something why your kids, which I have 2 wonderful adult children, and that's my purpose, right? So writing those things down, I think, helps a ton. And then positive affirmations. So I have a list of positive affirmations that I say every day that helps me. I have a joyful, energetic body, and a loving, compassionate heart, and a curious, creative mind. And I say those in my meditation and my affirmations every day. And that helps with that. And then surround yourself with positive people. No negativity allowed. Just put them aside and say, I'll deal with those people later. But you need to surround yourself with positive people, from your doctors to your family members to your friends, people that have a positive approach for you and your outcome and your prognosis, and that you resonate with, right? Yes. So that's a thing too, that the chemistry is there. And it might take you 4 oncologists before you find that person, but it's so important to do so. And then number 2, the spiritual connection, chapter 2. The action steps are meditating. Begin your practice of meditating. Find an energy healer, I think, is very important, because they're special people that just the way they go about and see things and connecting with that energy, positive energy, helps with that connection. And then get outside. Connect with Gaia, with Mother Earth, and whatever it is that you like to do, whether it's fishing, hiking, or just gardening. My friend Diane just gardens, and she's 4 years post stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Wow. And so I learned a ton from her. a big part of my healing team, and was a person that actually recommended this book to me. So that's a big part of it. So those are action steps for that. And the last one, chapter 10, increasing your social support. So action steps for that is, formulate your team. Again, finding those people that are positive, that you resonate with, and have them around you as much as you can, right? And then I think volunteering formally, or just helping people, because when you help people, that helps you.
Yes.
And that positive energy that you get from that is just starts that snowball rolling in the right direction, right? And that helps. So those are the big three and some action steps.
This is a beautiful testimonial. Thank you so much, Dan. Do you have a quote or song that inspires you in living with radical hope?
So I'm totally a quote and song person. I love music, and I love quotes from that. Depending on my mood, right? There's a song and a quote for almost everyone, right? So I'll share. I do want to share a couple with you. And number one is for me is I get a lot from the greatest book ever written for me, the Bible. But Isaiah 41:10, right? Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. And so just my belief in having that behind me, just is so powerful in helping me with a positive attitude. Because with the Heavenly Father on my team, I'm like, okay, show me the way, and I can do it. I can endure this stuff with Him on carrying me, maybe, yes. Right?
Yes.
So that just helps a ton. And then your mental, this helps with my PMA, my positive mental attitude, but you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will have strength. From Marcus Aurelius, who is just the philosopher emperor, right? And brilliant. But it's so true. Your mind dictates, and you said it today with Louise Hay, yes. Right? Like the way you start your day and is the way you're going to live your day, and the way you live your day is the way you live your life. And we all know there's so much science behind putting positive beliefs in your brain. You manifest that, and outside people, outside events can't take that away, right? And so an offshoot that. So 30 days into my diagnosis, I'm in the hospital at UCI, in medical center, and I haven't been able to eat. I had surgery to put a stent in, and I lost those 40 pounds. So I actually have enough strength to get out of the bed and take a shower. And I take off the hospital gown and look in the mirror and almost drop to, who is that? Like that skeleton. And I thought of Viktor Frankl, right? Yes. And it was good and it was bad, right? Like bad is like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how skinny I am. Like any way you touch, you were touching bone, so my muscles were gone. Not that I was ever big, but at least I had some, I was lean, but I was now down to 137 and just a bone rack, right? And I thought of Viktor Frankl, and I thought of him, but it inspired me as well. I'm like, well, this is not anything compared to what he went through. So I can do this. Yes. I can stand in the shower, take a shower, clean myself off, and try to have a smoothie or something and get started, right? And so his mindset and what he put in his mind, right? It wasn't the concentration camp. It wasn't the no food. It wasn't the boots with holes in them and 30-degree. He planted in his mind positive, wanting to see his wife again.
Yes.
And that got him through it, right? So it's very powerful. Very powerful. Very powerful.
Viktor Frankl is known as really the father of positive psychology.
Yeah.
He's kind of known for that.
So I have more.
Okay.
I have more. So, Proverbs, I love Proverbs, and I read, I get something out of Proverbs every day to take with me, right? But Proverbs 13:4, those who work hard will prosper. And the takeaway for that, right, is you can write things down and you can say you're going to do things, but none of that matters. You have to take a step. You have to take an action step, right? And that backs that up, right? And there's a couple more that go along with that, right? Everybody's heard this one. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. From, I'm not going to say his name right, Lao Tzu, I think his name is. And then from Confucius, it does not matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop, right? So all those things tie together, right? They're not talking about talking. They're talking about doing, taking that first step, doing the action, and you will prosper from that as long as you don't stop, right? You can go slow. Everybody goes at different speeds, and that's for everything, right? It's just not this. You just move in the right direction. Take that step and move forward and don't stop. So those things give me unbelievable fuel every day. And I read some of these every day, every other day, once a week, but I'm reading something every day that helps me. And Grandma Moses is, life is what we make it. Always has been and always will be. And again, that's you are your happiness, you are your joy. You create that, right? Whether it's negative or positive. And I wake up and one of the first things, I'm thankful that I have another day, another opportunity to do good, but to do better and to make myself better. And I'll bring in Kobe again, right? Because Kobe's work ethic was amazing, second to none, right? And what he brought it down to is something that we can all do. 1%. Get 1% better every day. Every day. And that's we can all do that at whatever level, whatever we're working on, the piano, fishing, our plan for the next course, work, AI, whatever it is. You can get 1% better every day. It's a doable amount. It's not this huge task that I can't, so overwhelming I can't do it, right? Just 1%. And it makes a big difference. So I could go on and on and on with quotes. Songs as well. I have a list of songs, but I'm going to give a few that I love. Grateful by Rita Ora. I listen to almost every day because the song talks about being grateful for the mistakes that you make and the lessons that you learn from it. And the storm that eventually comes in all of our lives and is different. It takes different shape in everybody, but what you pull from that to move forward and to become a better person. And I'm grateful for all those things. And I never thought I would say I'm grateful for this diagnosis of pancreatic cancer. But I'll tell you that in the last 2 years of my life, I have work to do, but I've evolved more toward my best self in this 2-year window than any 2-year window in my entire life, by far. So I'm grateful for that because, I have work to do and I'm trying to do it, right? So, and then Thank You by Alanis Morissette, and she's thanking her frailty and again all these things that you think can be negative, but you turn them into positive things. And then Whatever It Takes by the Imagine Dragons, because whatever it takes, sign me up. I'm Still Standing by Elton John. Okay. This Is Me by Kiela Settle. I don't know if you guys have seen The Greatest Showman, but This Is Me comes out of that movie. And before every Spartan race, before every I just crank this song. The song is awesome and just motivates me. And then Holy Mother by Eric Clapton, the version with Luciano Pavarotti. Have you heard that version?
Yes.
It's so, you're right, yeah. Yes. So powerful, I just love it. and then Let It Be. And again, not the Beatles version. I like the version by Eric Crowder. J.P. Cooper, I mean, J.P. Cooper.
Okay.
And then Somebody Prayed by Eric Crowder. That's Eric Crowder. And he talks about moving mountains because somebody prayed. And that's what we're doing. We're trailblazing a path that my doctors don't know the next thing to do with me. We don't know, but we're doing it. We're going to take the next step, which is it a KRAS inhibitor? Is it immunotherapy? Is it, we don't know, but we're blazing that trail. And in my belief, it's for the people that come behind me will have an easier way than me. And I'm thankful for the opportunity to share my story with whoever will listen. I'll start talking.
Well, we are very grateful, Dan, to have you here. I told you guys this was going to be inspirational. Kind of our theme was, and you said it here at the end too, from fear to radical hope. So many things, testing the limits, embracing the obstacles. He said his whole life he's been training for this. Instead of why not? Evolving to be a better person in the past 2 years. Make yourself 1% better. There's so many things in here. And gratitude for this book, that you've been able to lean on this.
So much gratitude, yes.
So we thank you guys for being here and learning this week, and we hope you can take this information to help others, to help ourselves, as we all strive to really become that 1% better.
1% better, yeah. Thank you for listening. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, Wendy. I appreciate it. And looking forward to Wednesday's yoga.
Woo! Thank you, students. As we sign off, let's do your little sign.
Little shaka, the connection.
There we go.